What is going on, all of you speedy mascot character racers out there in the world? I'm Mega Amster. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. Whether you are a new or returning viewer, I appreciate you stopping by. And today I wanted to talk about something that some of you may have on your minds, myself included, as we've learned about, especially as we learn about games coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 in its launch year of 2025. And that is the idea that there are all of these kart racers coming out in the same year, right? The big three are Mario Kart World, of course, which is already out as of this upload. Very soon, we're going to have Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, just about a month, actually, yeah, just about a month as of this upload. And of course, the highly anticipated Garfield Kart 2. It's time. No, I'm kidding. I know there are Garfield Kart fans out there. Hope you enjoyed. No, the third one I'm talking about here is Kirby Air Riders, because you have these three, two of them from Nintendo within the same year. But then also you have Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Now, CrossWorlds was announced before, like a month before Mario Kart World. They showed it at the Game Awards of 2024, a trailer for that. And then just the next month, in January 2025, they unveiled the Switch 2 with the new Mario Kart. So it's like, well, crap, now we got both these games coming out this year. And then on top of that, during the Switch 2 Direct back in April of 2025, we found out about the new Kirby Air Riders sequel to the fan-favorite Kirby Air Ride on the original Nintendo GameCube. So it's like, okay, we have all these three big kart racers. There's probably even more, like Garfield Kart that I'm not considering. We have all of these kart racers, these big name kart racers, and I'm going to consider Kirby a big name kart racer because it's first party Nintendo. I'm not counting Dragon Drive, that's different. All of these coming out in 2025. Like, that's a lot of kart racers, but they're not all the same. And that's kind of what I want to go more in depth with here, about the differences between each of them and why they're all valid on their own. So let's let's talk about Mario Kart World first, just because that's already out. Mario Kart World, is a traditional formula that's existed ever since the Super Nintendo original, right? You've got your standard kart racing with some drifting that they've tweaked over the years, but still you have items that you can throw at people, and you try to get first place in all these different ways. And, you know, they try to change it up every now and then. Like, DS had a mission mode that was really cool, single player. Double Dash was very unique. It had the double kart racer. And they've added different Mario characters and a few crossover characters in Mario Kart 8. And I guess if you count Robin, Mario Kart 7, right? But then they also had, like, the hand gliding. They added the anti-gravity, and it was kind of a gimmick there. I think the bikes were new to Wii, right? Definitely let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong about that. But what's unique about Mario Kart World is this is, in theory, like the most divergent they've been from the core formula in quite a while. I would say probably since Double Dash did the one-off unique double kart racer thing, and that is the idea of this open interconnected world, which not a lot of people love. We've seen some kind of sentiments about it online about people not loving the fact that you have to drive in between different tracks and makes the tracks themselves less memorable. I could understand that. I'm personally not too upset by it. I think it's unique. I think it makes it stand out from a game like Mario Kart 8, which is like super duper polished, especially with Deluxe on the Switch. So how do you make a new Mario Kart? How do you follow up a Mario Kart after that? You add a free roam mode. You make it a whole interconnected world where you have to drive in between the tracks. And like a lot of the new tracks I actually really like in this game. I do think it's a really fun game, and I do like the idea of driving in between them. Knockout Tour is a fun new mode that's great. The free roam I was a little bit disappointed on, but the fact that they emphasize this open exploration, I think really makes this stand out a lot from other Mario Karts and even other kart racers. Because, and let's jump into it here, because I really want to focus on CrossWorlds and Kirby Air Riders for the most part here, as Mario Kart World's already out. I've done a review video on that game. Go check it on the channel if you're interested. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is almost more of a standard kart racer than Mario Kart World is, which is really interesting because Nintendo's kind of the foundation for kart racers, right? I mean, was Super Mario Kart that couldn't have been the first kart racer. I think Sonic Drift came out after it, but still, like, were there any other kart racers out at the time? Like, let me know. I honestly don't know. At least probably not like mascot kart racers. Maybe there were here and there. I don't know. But anyways, you know, that kind of set the formula for a lot of kart racers to follow. Just like when Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing came out with the Sega crossover characters all the way back in, what was it, 2007, 2008, maybe 2009, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's not as old as I'm thinking. Then we had Transformed as well, which also had the SEGA crossovers. Then Sonic Team put out Team Sonic Racing with Sumo Digital back in 2019. That one was a bit of a downgrade from the first two Sonic Racing games before it. And now we have Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, which, yes, is emphasizing a crossover aspect that Mario Kart's actually not going after, which is kind of funny because I remember a while after Mario Kart 8, which also had a few crossover characters like Link from The Legend of Zelda and Animal Crossing characters and Splatoon characters. Whereas, you know, in World, everybody leading up to before World was revealed, I saw a lot of theories about the fact that they could do like a Smash Brothers karting game, where it's a complete Nintendo crossover, which they still could update Mario Kart World to be. That is totally possible. I think that is a game they're going to update for the next, like, 10 years. Or maybe not as long as that, but you know what I mean? Like, throughout the Switch 2's life cycle. Whereas this game, right off the bat, CrossWorlds, the aspect of crossing over mainly with Sonic characters, but also with a few SEGA characters and a bunch of guest characters. We know of the Minecraft characters, SpongeBob and Patrick, TMNT, Avatar, and Pac-Man we know about so far, and there's more to come. So they are going all in on the crossover aspect. And I also just love that they're pulling tracks from all across Sonic as a whole. I'm really happy to see that. I would love to see some SEGA stages, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We have like Ichiban and Joker, and then Hatsune Miku showing up, which is great in the base game. But I don't know, like, actually I don't know if they're base game. I don't know if they're going to have tracks associated with them. As far as we know, they're not, and they're all just Sonic themed. But still, there's a lot of cool Sonic themed tracks in here. So as a Sonic fan, it's great. But back to my original point, this series of Sonic Racing games took so much inspiration from Mario Kart. Very much, you have your track racer, you have items, honestly sometimes similar items that you use to take out your opponents and go through and cross the finish line. And what's interesting is, like I said before, Mario Kart World is very much deviating from the original core Mario Kart experience, where it's still, I mean, at its deep core, it is still Mario Kart, but then you're adding new tricks, you're completely changing the course of the game, because literally and figuratively, because you have the in-between courses and everything feels like an open, interconnected world, right? Which is kind of the evolution for Mario Kart, at least for now. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is not going for that. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is more of a traditional, maybe a little more arcadey, hard to say right now, kart racer. Which, it knows its audience, it knows what it's doing, and I think it's going to succeed at that. But to me, that's why, even though these two games may seem very similar, I mean, they're completely different series, right? But the fact that they're launching in the same year, I don't mind too much anymore. I'm glad they're launching after Mario Kart World. You know, I was a little hesitant. I was a little worried that they were going to launch this game back in summer, like right around when Mario Kart World launched, and I feel like that probably would have been a death sentence. By the time this game comes out, it'll have been almost 4 months since Mario Kart World and the Switch 2 launched, and so I think SEGA is set up to be in a much better position where, I mean, people might double dip. You know, people who didn't enjoy the openness of World might prefer the more standard linear kart racing approach that this game is going for, all the while having all these Sonic characters and stages and also guest characters, whether within SEGA or outside of SEGA. Like, that has a lot of appeal, and that's a different direction than the Mario Kart World team is going in, and so I think that's worth talking about. And it's definitely worth highlighting that, because it's very different than what Mario Kart World is doing. So honestly, like, yeah, you'll probably have some hardcore Nintendo fans who just won't care about this game, especially because it is launching in the same year. But I'm curious to see, like, this very much has a specific audience, and maybe it can reach a broader audience as well, especially if people I've seen some sentiments online of people honestly dismissing Mario Kart World, which I don't think is valid at all. I mean, like, you do you, but like, it's still, in my opinion, a very good game. But I think maybe people who want something fresh, but still a kart racer, but maybe something they're more in tune to, like a more linear approach like this game, might actually appeal to them. So I think, although these two games can be similar at their core, I think they are distinct enough from each other in terms of their design mentality that I think it's going to. I don't think they're going to necessarily super compete with each other. I'm sure Mario Kart World ate some of this game's sales already, but the one that's the most unique out of all of these, let's jump into it before I make this too long, is Kirby Air Riders, because this game, and it's funny because Sakurai straight up addresses it in this direct that just happened not even a week ago as of this upload. where he said he got a request from Nintendo to make Kirby Air Riders and launch it in the same year as Mario Kart World, and he's like, really? Like, okay. But when he breaks it down, this game is so much different than Mario Kart World, because Mario Kart World is much more of a traditional kart racer at its core. Besides the openness and all of that, just the controls are very, you press A to accelerate, you gotta steer with the left sticks, you gotta, you have a button to use your items, you have a button to drift. Whereas Kirby Air Riders, taking it from the original Kirby Air Ride, you have one button. You auto accelerate and you steer. Yeah, you can turn with the left and right stick, but as they're showing here, you hold down B and then turn to drift. B is brake, you press it down, you turn to drift. And then you boost out of that drift automatically. So the original idea behind this with Kirby Air Ride was to make it simpler and honestly more innovative and make it stand out from Mario Kart, which is why, to me, this and Mario Kart World being in the same year, those don't overlap with each other. Because yes, they're both kart racers at their core, but then again, this is a completely different control scheme and it's going to feel like a much different game. Also, this is very much catering towards Kirby fans for sure, especially with all the guest characters they're bringing over, which is awesome to see. But those controls alone make this stand out from Mario Kart in a unique way that I think will make it feel completely different. If I had friends over, I might be like, hey, let's do a couple races in Mario Kart World, then let's do a couple races or City Trial in Kirby Air Riders. Like, why not? Like, that would be a good thing to break out. Whereas, maybe Mario Kart World and Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, maybe we wouldn't do both in one sitting. That might be a lot, because I feel like those two games are more inherently similar, especially because of their general control scheme and like the items and stuff. They are very, very similar. Whereas this game, the controls alone, you have the different special attacks that are unique to each character. So characters here are a lot more unique than Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Yeah, they have general stats like heavy, medium, light. I know there's a bunch of weight classes in Mario Kart World, but every character here, which is a new addition from the original Kirby Air Ride into Kirby Air Riders, you now have a unique special attack for every character. Plus, every character can use the copy abilities, which are essentially the items of this game. But on top of that, each character has a unique special. Almost reminds me of like what Double Dash had, with certain characters had like certain special items that they could use. Like Donkey Kong had the big banana, Bowser had the big spiky shell, stuff like that. Each character has their own unique special move here, which also just adds more variety. The other thing that Sakurai kind of mentions himself in this direct is City Trial. He's aware that City Trial is what a lot of Kirby Air Riders fans are here for. And that is completely unique from anything that Mario Kart or Sonic Racing are doing, right? Where, it's almost like, it's not quite a kart racer battle royale, but it's kind of that idea. You're collecting the stats, and then you can all compete after the time limit to kind of go in and do one final challenge and then crown whoever's the winner. So it's not just your typical kart racing, which they do have, and the tracks themselves seem quite fun and vibrant and unique, but it's not just that. City Trial is going to be probably the most played mode in this game, if I had to guess. There might also be a story mode that they kind of tease at the end here, so that would set it apart from Mario Kart World, and I assume Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, because I don't think that game's going to have a story mode, but who knows? At least they haven't said so yet. But City Trial is really going to make this game stand apart, especially from Mario Kart World being in the same launch year for the Switch 2, right? Because that is a completely different experience than anything you're going to get in Mario Kart World. Technically, you could all jump into free roam somewhere on the map and like all just hang out and like make your own version of it, but you're not collecting stats like that. You're not, you know what I mean? Like Mario Kart World is kind of like you're making your own fun with free roam. This game has the fun made for you in a unique way that you won't even be able to replicate otherwise. And so that's what's really, really going to set this game apart. Not just the controls, but also that City Trial mode that people are going to play the hell out of. I know I am when this game comes out. That just makes it really, really fun. And so, originally, and as I wrap up this video, looking holistically at the big view, yeah, you've got these 3 big kart racers all within the span of 6 months coming out, right? Which might seem like a lot. Kart racer fans eating good if you got a Switch, especially. But they all stand out from each other. Even Mario Kart World and Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, which are inherently pretty similar, but they are taking different design directions that I think honestly set them apart, and some people may prefer one over the other as a result. Like, I'm gonna like both games, I already know. I'm probably gonna prefer CrossWorlds, I already kind of know, because as a Sonic sicko, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And then Kirby Air Riders is also here, having this really unique stance on the kart racer that's really going to set it apart from those other two games. So it really, honestly, kind of comes together. Like I said, like, karting fans with a Switch 2 are eating good this year. You have so much variety, and all three of these I think will be great games to pull out if you have like a party, if you want to play online with friends. You have so many options right from the get-go in 2025, and that's honestly really cool. Like, at first I'm like, you know, are these gonna like eat each other's sales? Maybe Mario Kart World ate some of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds sales. I could see that, but honestly, I don't know how big of a difference it will be. I think these all stand on their own, and it will be interesting to see and compare sales-wise. I'm sure Mario Kart World will still be the best-selling out of all of these. I don't think anybody's doubting that, but it's going to be fun to see the longevity of these and see which games people prefer here and there, you know? I personally am excited for all of these games. I mean, already played World, but also CrossWorlds and Kirby Air Riders coming out very soon within the next few months of this upload, so I'm excited for all of these, and honestly, like, I don't feel like I'm gonna be burnt out on kart racers. I'm here for it because they all seem so different, and I'm very much here for that. But with that, that is going to do it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below which of these three, I mean, Mario Kart World's out, I know, but like, which of these three are you most excited for? Which gameplay styles do you prefer? Let me know your thoughts on what we've seen on all of these games in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next video or live stream. And until then, put that foot to the pedal. We're going.